You think you're addicted to food, sugar, fast food, late-night snacks, emotional eating? But you're not. What you're addicted to is the emotional escape that food gives you. And once you understand this, everything changes. From how you eat, to how you feel, to how your body finally responds. Let's start from the beginning. Every time you reach for comfort food, there's a trigger, a pattern. Maybe it's stress, maybe it's loneliness, maybe it's boredom. You're not eating because you're hungry. You're eating because something inside you is uncomfortable. And food became the fastest way to shut that discomfort down. But here's the catch. It never solves the problem. It just silences it. For a moment, then it comes back stronger. Now, imagine this. Someone tells you to just eat clean or count calories, but no one asks why you're overeating in the first place. No one teaches you how to deal with the feeling that leads you there. And that's where the cycle begins. You diet, you restrict, you hold out, then one trigger, one moment, one feeling, and the loop pulls you right back in. So what is this loop? It's not about food, it's about relief. You're not addicted to sugar, you're addicted to the numbness sugar gives you. The pause. The moment of silence in a loud, chaotic mind. You're not addicted to junk, you're addicted to what it distracts you from. Let me tell you about Lisa. Lisa was a woman who had struggled with her weight for over a decade. She tried every diet: keto, fasting, vegan, carnivore, pills, shakes, you name it. She lost weight, then gained it back, over and over again. Until one day, a therapist asked her, "What emotion are you feeding when you binge?" She broke down, because no one had ever asked her that. And in that moment, she realized she had been eating to soothe the feeling of rejection she'd carried since childhood. Her father left when she was 9. Her mother turned cold. And food became the one thing that never left. It was always there, always comforting, always available. Lisa wasn't addicted to food. She was addicted to safety. And that's the key. Food, for many of us, becomes safety. It becomes love. It becomes escape. But here's the problem. When you try to take it away without healing the root emotion, your brain goes into panic. It feels like you're removing the only comfort it has. That's why diets feel like war. That's why you sabotage. That's why you start strong and crash hard. It's not about discipline. It's about identity. And identity is shaped by emotional history. Let's get into the science. Your brain runs on dopamine, a chemical that rewards behavior. When you eat sugary or fatty foods, dopamine spikes. Your brain says, "This feels good, let's do it again." Over time, this creates a neural pathway, a habit loop. But here's the twist. The brain doesn't care about health. It cares about survival. And if food equals comfort equals safety, your brain will fight to keep that loop alive. But here's the truth. No one tells you that loop can be reprogrammed. Not by willpower, but by awareness, emotional rewiring, and identity shifts. You see, most people try to change their body without changing their story. They say things like, "I always fail. I'm just not built for weight loss. I can't trust myself around food." These aren't facts. These are scripts. Old scripts, written by pain, and they run automatically until you rewrite them. So how do you start? Step 1. Pause. Create a gap between trigger and reaction. Next time you crave something, ask, "What am I feeling right now?" Don't judge, just notice. Naming the emotion weakens its control. Step 2. Replace. Create new rituals for comfort. Breathwork, music, movement, calling a friend, journaling. These don't replace food instantly, but they start to teach your brain a new way to soothe. Step 3. Reframe. Stop labeling yourself as broken. You are not broken. You are programmed. And what was programmed can be reprogrammed. Let's go deeper. Every time you eat emotionally, your nervous system is saying, "I don't feel safe." So the real journey of weight loss isn't about food. It's about safety. Emotional safety. Nervous system regulation. That's why trauma and binge eating are linked. That's why people gain weight during grief, stress, burnout. The body holds the score, and food becomes a language. Now, let me ask you, when you think about losing weight, do you feel excited or terrified? Be honest, because many people fear success. Why? Because success brings visibility. And for someone who has used weight as protection, being seen can feel dangerous. That's what happened to James. James lost 60 pounds in 5 months, and then he gained 80 back. When asked why, he said, "I felt like people saw me. and I wasn't ready. He used weight as a shield, to stay invisible, to stay safe. And until he healed that fear, no diet could help. This is deeper than macros. It's deeper than gym schedules. This is about your relationship with yourself. Your body isn't the enemy, it's the messenger. And food isn't the problem, it's the response. Let's say that again. Food isn't the problem, it's the response. So what's the solution? It starts with compassion. Radical compassion, the kind that says, I understand why I eat like this. I'm not bad. I'm not weak. That voice, that shift, begins the healing. When you speak to yourself with compassion, your nervous system relaxes. You no longer need to fight yourself, and that's when sustainable change begins. Here's a mantra for you. I choose to feel, not feed. Say it again. I choose to feel, not feed. Because feeling is healing, and healing is freedom. So, as you reach the end of this video, I want you to remember, you are not addicted to food. You are addicted to comfort, to escape, to emotional survival. And that makes sense. But you don't have to stay there. Change is possible. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from awareness. And awareness is the most powerful step of all. In part 2, we go even deeper into the habits, the rewiring process, and the exact steps that helped thousands break this loop. But for now, Brish, you made it this far. That means something inside you is ready. And if you're truly ready to change, not just your body but your mind, your emotions, your story, then don't stop here. Watch part 2, because that's where the transformation really begins. So if you made it here, you already know this journey isn't about food. It's about what food represents. Comfort, escape, a moment of silence in a life that feels too loud. But now, it's time to move forward. To go from awareness to action, from understanding to transformation. In this second part, I'll show you how to begin reprogramming the emotional patterns that keep pulling you back. This isn't a diet, this isn't a trick. This is about deep, lasting change from the inside out. Let's start with something simple but powerful. Your nervous system. When you're stuck in emotional eating, it's because your nervous system doesn't feel safe. Safe to be seen. Safe to feel. Safe to live without the old patterns? The first step, ISNT, to force yourself to eat better at S to create safety inside your body. That means regulating your stress response. One of the fastest ways to do this is through breath. Every morning, before you pick up your phone, before you think about food, sit up, close your eyes, and take 10 deep, slow breaths, in through your nose for 4 seconds, out through your mouth for 6. This signals your nervous system. We're safe now. Do this daily, even just 5 minutes. It rewires your baseline. It gives your body a new default, one that isn't survival, but peace. Now, let's talk identity. You'll never stick to a change that conflicts with how you see yourself. If you believe, deep down, that you're someone who always gives up, no diet will work. If you see yourself as an emotional eater, you'll keep acting like one. That's why step 2 is to choose a new identity, consciously. Every day, affirm. I am someone who respects my body. I nourish myself from love, not punishment. I heal. I grow. I evolve. Repeat it aloud. Write it down. Say it in the mirror. Repetition is how the brain not logic, not guilt. Repetition. Next, let's talk about triggers. You need to map your patterns. Every time you feel a craving, don't act on it. Pause. Ask yourself, what just happened? Did someone criticize you? Did a memory come up? Did you feel tired, overwhelmed, lonely? These are emotional cues, your body's way of saying, I need care. And that care doesn't have to come in a wrapper. Create a trigger journal. 1 page, 1 question. What was I feeling before the craving? Over time, you'll notice patterns. You'll stop feeling out of control. You'll see that it was never about food. It was about the emotion underneath it. Now let's go deeper. Your subconscious mind runs 95% of your behavior. It's like a GPS, and most people are running on an old map. You say you want to lose weight, but your inner map says, food is love. Food is safety. Food is control. That's why you sabotage. Not because you're broken, but because your internal GPS is set to the wrong destination. You need to change the destination. Visualization is the tool. Close your eyes each morning. Imagine yourself as already transformed. Feel the energy, the strength, the peace. What are you wearing? How do you walk? How do you treat yourself? Your brain doesn't know the difference between real and vividly imagined. So give it a new movie to play. Let me share a story. Maria, a woman who battled food addiction for 20 years, tried every program. One day, she started practicing what we just discussed: breath work, visualization, identity, rewiring, trigger mapping. In 6 months, she lost 45 pounds. But more importantly, she said this: "For the first time, I feel like I'm not fighting myself." That's the real goal. Not perfection, but alignment. Your mind, body, and emotions working together, not at war. Now, here's a crucial truth. Discipline doesn't work long-term. Design does. Your environment shapes your behavior more than motivation ever will. So ask yourself, is your kitchen a battlefield or a sanctuary? Are you surrounded by triggers or tools? Replace snacks with fruit. Replace soda with water bottles. Replace guilt with reminders of your power. Put a note on your fridge: "I'm worth the effort." Put one on your mirror: "I am healing." Your space should reflect your future self, not your past struggles. And now, let's build your personal reset ritual. I call it the 3R method. 1. Reset the nervous system. Morning breath work, 10 minutes. Midday body scan. Nighttime gratitude journal, 3 wins from your day. Rewire the identity. Daily affirmations spoken aloud. Visualization practice, 3 minutes. Trigger journal, track emotions, not food. Rebuild the body with love. Eat slowly. Chew with presence. Move daily, walking, stretching, dancing, anything joyful. Sleep like it matters, because it does. This isn't about rules, it's about rituals. Rituals that remind you, I matter, I'm worthy, I choose to care for myself. And when you fall, when you binge, when you break the rhythm, you forgive. You don't start over, you continue. That's growth, that's freedom. Let me be clear, there is no quick fix, but there is a real fix. And it starts inside you. If you've made it through this video, it means part of you is ready. Ready to stop numbing, ready to stop blaming, ready to stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is this one. So take the leap, take the step. And if you want real support to make this journey easier, deeper, and guided, I've linked something below that changed thousands of lives. Not a diet, not another rulebook, a proven reset designed for real humans with real emotions. Click the link, discover what's possible. You don't need to suffer to transform. You just need to say yes to yourself.